I'm sure we've all seen the video of Will Smith slapping Chris Rock at the Oscars over the past weekend. Some might find it shocking, others might find that it was deserved. Today we're going to look at this from a security expert's perspective, as we ask the question, how could security have prevented this? Hi, I'm Jack from Region Security Guarding's YouTube channel. Don't forget to give us a like if you enjoyed the video, and make sure you subscribe to stay up to date with all the latest security guarding news. So for this video, we're going to break it down into sections. We're going to be looking at the security measures that are at the Oscars every year, how the event happened itself, and why he wasn't stopped. Let's take a look at some of the security measures that are in place at an event like the Oscars. As is to be expected at events like this, there is a massive security presence, both from private security services and law enforcement services. Let's put that into perspective. The security cost for the Oscars in 2016 was an estimated $250,000, and many attendees described it as a military state. In 2018, more than 500 police officers were present to help keep the event secure, with help from the FBI, police helicopters, and the fire department. It also isn't uncommon for snipers to be positioned on the top of buildings, bomb-sniffing dogs to be deployed, and metal detectors being used during times at heightened risk. When looking into why this is the case, it isn't hard to justify all these security measures that are in place. An event like this, which is broadcast around the world with the sort of media attention that it gets, is a prime target for threats of terrorism. Not only that, but the number of celebrities that are at an event like this just makes the security risk even higher. For the celebrities themselves, they will be at risk from attacks from stalkers or people who just don't like them for whatever reason. They will have their own security teams in place, as well as law enforcement and the security team at the event itself. While the organisation itself doesn't disclose the sort of vetting that takes place for the staff, we know that these sort of strict measures are in place for ticket holders and attendees for the event. Each attendee is required to give their social security number, so a background check can be done. They also need to show a government-issued form of identity before they are seated. These are some of the strictest measures in place for an event that you could possibly think of, which is one of the reasons you can't find many examples of a security incident occurring at the Oscars. That and the tickets aren't easily available to the public. They are mainly distributed by production studios and can cost upwards of $750 each. It's also strictly forbidden for members of the press to share images of their press passes. This prevents counterfeit versions being made. In 2018, at least one member of the press had their press pass revoked after sharing a picture of it on social media. With other videos we've looked at, we've seen how counterfeit passes are made and how they are used. So this zero tolerance policy is a very good way of preventing this. There are also security measures in place when it comes to the results. At an undisclosed location, a team of up to 5 people go through the ballots and calculate the winners. The ballots are divided amongst the team so that only 2 people know the results. The ballots are then stored in a safe. This is so they're not at the risk of a cyber attack as they would be on a computer. There is also no list of winners, just to add an extra layer of security. They are then memorised by the employees, one on stage left and one on stage right. Just from this you can see how seriously the security is taken at every step during the event. There's no stone unturned and every detail is examined. With all that taken into consideration, just how did the team at the event allow this to happen? Quite simple. They didn't want a beloved actor like Will Smith being escorted out of the event on live television that's broadcast across the world. This could have reflected badly on the organisation as well as those involved. It could also have something to do with the fact that he was nominated and won an award later in the evening, but that is just speculation. One of the key points here is they knew who was approaching the stage, even if they didn't know what his intentions were. An unknown individual could pose a higher security risk, as it is not clear what their intentions would be, as well as who they are. They could have been planning a terrorist attack or to attack Chris Rock with a weapon. While nobody knew what was going to happen other than Will Smith in this situation, it's safe to assume he wasn't posing an immediate risk to anyone around him. They would have some procedures set up to deal with stage invaders and things along those lines. They just might not have expected the threat of that to come from Will Smith. There are now multiple different reports saying that he was asked to leave the ceremony after this happened and refused. And there's also reports saying that that didn't happen at all. It's difficult to sort of ascertain what actually happened here, but security should have asked him to leave immediately after this happened. I mean, it's not difficult to imagine this happening in a different set of circumstances. It could have been a man hitting a woman, vice versa. There are lots of different things that could have happened here. If he's lost his temper once, if he's unable to control it, it could easily happen again. It would have been best to just remove him from the situation entirely so they could just get on with the proceedings. What could have been done to prevent this? Security teams could have been deployed at either side of the stage itself in order to stop anybody storming the stage. They could have easily been identified, intercepted, and the situation could have been contained. They might not want to do something like this though, as they wouldn't want visible security on the actual show itself. It might give off the wrong impression, not the impression they want to give. Why wasn't he stopped? There are likely a few different factors as to why he wasn't intercepted and stopped at this event. Officials and security personnel might not have been aware that it wasn't part of the script or it wasn't part of the show. This emphasises the importance of letting security teams know exactly what is expected to happen on the night. They might have seen Will Smith as a known quantity. They know he doesn't have a weapon, he isn't planning a terrorist attack, and he isn't a stage invader looking to get his 5 minutes of fame. These are the sorts of incidents that security teams are on the lookout for and are trained to deal with. That being said, it is important to remember this could have easily happened with anyone else, and it should be treated the same way. He should have been asked to leave immediately and been escorted off the premises. If the situation escalated with security and law enforcement had to get involved, it wouldn't have been a good look for the event. Potentially having to restrain or forcibly remove a high-profile actor like Will Smith could generate its own kind of bad publicity. He was very close to the stage as well. This could have been prevented by having security personnel at the stage itself and at the entrance ramp to the stage. It's also worth taking Chris Rock's reaction into account here. He handled the situation quite well and appeared to be unfazed by the experience. This could have had some influence on whether Will Smith would have been removed from the event. He still, however, should have been removed from the event for everybody else's safety. Okay, so let's take a look at this video. Okay, so from this we can see just how close he is to the stage. So it's barely going to take him any time at all to storm the front of the stage the way that he does. In this instance, there's probably less than 10 seconds for anyone to react to the situation. And the only people who know what's going to actually happen here, Will Smith and maybe Chris Rock. If he's looking at Will's face, his demeanour, his body language, you might be able to tell that something's going to happen, but we'll never know. And from looking at the video, you can't see any sort of security personnel in shot or anything like that. And he does just walk back to his seat and sit down as well. So clearly wasn't, asked to leave immediately or removed from the situation as he should have been. You can also see from the reactions of the people in the crowd, they're not sure whether this is real or not. They don't know if it's part of the show, which again, maybe the staff there didn't know either. That's why it's important for security teams and event staff to be informed of what the plan is, what's going on, so they can look out for anything unusual or anything suspicious. And that's our breakdown from the events at this year's Oscars, from a security expert's perspective. If you have any thoughts on the topic, let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to give us a like if you enjoyed the video, and subscribe to our channel to stay updated on all the latest security guarding news. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.